Welcome back to the Okar Effect. Feels good to be back down here in the studio bunker. It's been quite a while. It's a long story where I've been, what I've been doing, what's been happening to my brain. I think some of you long-term viewers, if you're still out there, if you're still connected, if you're still paying attention, I think you'll remember the army of this. The deity formerly known as God. Now that's kind of an old joke, and actually that kind of gets to the root of what's been going on and how long we've been doing this really down here in the bunkers, moving back and forth between the studio bunker, the ritual bunkers, our undisclosed locations. Even those are somewhat older jokes. They're a little fresher than the deity formerly known as God. How many people even remember that anymore? I think it points out just what's happened. We're stagnant. Time has moved on, and we're still here in the same place for the same reasons. Or even the undisclosed location, the bunkers, the bunker busters. It seems like so many decades ago that these things were happening, and it was just a few years. Anyway, I identify with old jokes. I mean, sometimes I feel like an old joke. Even when I was young, I felt like an old joke most of the time. I think the last time I was on the air was probably 2006 or something like that. It seems like a lifetime ago, almost, to tell you the truth. And long-term viewers, they'd probably like an explanation, but due to the negotiation that brought me back onto the air right now, I'm precluded from talking about that at this time. So we're going to have to wait with that long story, but it involves the army of this, broken equipment, raided bunkers, and the dissolution of the Bush League from power. I would really like to say that since the Bush League has been driven from Washington, D.C., at least most of their physical presence in this world has been driven from Washington, D.C., that I would feel comfortable coming up out of the bunker and rejoining the bulk of my culture above ground. But unfortunately, that's just not true. I can say, in the intervening years, the art temple mandala has become less physical in its existence. It's working much more strongly in the psychological and spiritual realms. The undercover shaman that are associated with the art temple mandala felt their physical existence was kind of holding them back from fully confronting the forces that are messing with not just our planet, our country, but the entire world, the universe as we know it. And they've decided that the best place for them to confront this is by leaving behind their physical existence. So, as I can't say that army of prevents me from saying any more. But they are there. They're working for you. I'm firmly rooted in the physical realm. I can't help it. It's where I live. It's where I feel most comfortable. Way back somewhere just after the 2000 electile dysfunction, the result of the confusion mantra, the art temple mandala was very thrilled. They were happy, celebrating their victory, that the confusion mantra had an effect, perhaps not the intended effect, but it had torn open the veils of our broken electoral system. And the shaman were celebrating about that. And rightly so. But during that time, it was Lama Carson who said, we need things to add up. It needs to speed up. We need things to line up. Now more quickly. We can't wait 3-5 years like the time it took for the confusion mantra to have an effect. Things need to move faster. Indeed, they're moving so fast, I can barely keep up. Think of everything that's happened in terms of significant world events just since the last time I sat down here in the studio bunker and tried to communicate with you. Tried to overcome the army of and talk directly to my fellow cultural warriors. I mean, where can I even start? There's the Jasmine Revolution, the Arab Spring, you name it, Muammar Gaddafi, Saleh. It's everywhere you look. Everywhere you look, the physical trappings of the political realm are crumbling. They're crumbling. And we can trace that right back to the 2000 election. So many things. The Carson effect, it sped everything up. At heart, I'm a local person. I believe in local economies, local food, local money, local business, local news. But I'm going to leave Minnesota out of the issue for right now. Other than to kind of apologize to Michelle Bachmann for not covering her campaign for president while it was actually happening. I can only look at it in retrospect, and I'll never forgive myself for missing Michelle Bachmann's aborted run for the U.S. presidency. If you pertain to social media, YouTube, Facebook, you'll see me there. Mandala News Network and Brixton Hughes. And one of the most interesting things I've come across so far is the total candidate, Marco G. This is an emanation of vibration remaining from the Art Temple Mandala days when we were talking about the total candidate. At that time, it was Art Temple was the total candidate. Now Marco G has emerged. He's your total candidate for 2012. Vote Marco G in every race where the people are unopposed. What have you got to lose? If you want to know more about the concept of wasted votes and total candidacy, check us out. To make a long story very short, it's become clear over the intervening years, since 1999, 2000 in there, that the era of the Art Temple, they were able to shake our system many times. One result of that, in the United States, we have the rise of the Taxed Enough Already Party, the Tea Party. Very clever name, actually. And now Occupy Wall Street. From the right, from the left, people sense that the political realms are unsettled, that they've been shaken, that they're unstable, and now is the time to stand up. Now is the time for our people to come together. The emanations of this have been felt around the world. Everywhere you look, people standing up and telling their assumed leaders, hey, get out. We run the place, not you. Here at the Okar Effect, we fully understand that feeling. We promote that feeling. We enhance that feeling. Because when we step back and look at our political realms from a bigger picture, I'm not talking about nonpartisan. This is bigger than that. This is a cultural idea. This is what connects all the way with our histories, all the way our tendrils of history running deep into the earth. When we look from that perspective, what do we see given to us on the stage of invented reality that is our political realms in this country? And make no mistake, it's an invented reality. What they say on the campaign trail, what more evidence do you need than when all the politicians fall all over themselves? They hire consultants for hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to tell me, how can I look authentic? How can I appear real? How can I connect with actual human beings, with the people who I'm supposed to govern? I seem so fake. I seem so hollow. Please, if I give you enough money, can you make me authentic again? Or at least seem authentic. I don't really want to be authentic, because if I was authentic, I'd already know how to do it. So obviously they're not, because they need consultants to tell them how to act authentic. How to fluff their image and paint it and just touch it up in such a way that, well, they almost look like they could be the leader of a country. This is what we have. This is the politics that the people have voted for themselves. Or let happen because they've abdicated their power. They decided, I'm going to sit on the couch, I'm going to play a video game or go shopping or do whatever, as long as I don't have to pay any attention to those fake people who are pretending to be my leaders. And I understand that. I completely understand that attitude. But the shape of my heart says, I can't look away. It's like an auto accident. You know, when I drive by, I kind of have to look. If somebody says, there's a dead animal over there. Just recently over a holiday, I was at a friend's house, and they're hunters, and they'd gotten themselves a deer during deer season. So they said, don't look in the freezer, because you might find a deer head. So of course the first thing I did is I went down and I looked in the freezer, because I just can't stop myself from looking at the result of what people have done. So while some of you seem very pleased to just ignore politics and let everybody else deal with it, I can't. That's not how I work. So I really have to look at these things. And if you don't think that our political realms are like a dead deer or an auto accident, then good Lord, you just haven't been paying attention. Look what they offer us on this stage of false reality that is our political realm, as represented by the presidential campaigns for the time being. I mean, don't we deserve more than this? Obama versus the Keystone Cops. That's who's competing to be the leader of the free world. In fact, it seems to be an election comprised almost completely of Republicans. So if you're really an advocate of Ronald Reagan, the Reagan Revolution that started in the 1980s, vote for Barack Obama. He's the only moderate Republican left in the race. Sounds wrong, but it's right. So in the United States, the tendrils, the vibrations of the art temple mandala shaking the system have allowed two movements to blossom in the wake. Taxed Enough Already Party, Tea Party, and Occupy Wall Street. The way the mainstream media discusses this, they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. But here at Mandala News Network, we understand that they're really just two parts of a syzygy. They're unified because they both emanate from the true government of our land, which is the people. Remember? It's a government of, by, and for the people. Not of, by, and for the corporation. Not of, by, and for the politicians. Not of, by, and for the political parties. Not of, by, and for the army of... But for us, we make it, it's ours. It's already ours. I hear the slogans, take back. We have to take back our country. We have to take back this. You don't have to take it back. It's already ours. Oh, that was it. But here at Mandala News Network, we realize that they're connected. They both come from the people who occupy our government already. It's our government. We don't have to take it back from anyone. They have to take it from us. Or we have to abdicate it which is really what people have been doing over the years. They just don't pay attention to their political realm. They don't think it's important. It's meaningless to them. We are not going to focus on the differences between Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party. We see them both as what they are, emanations from an unsettled populace. Corrective effects trying to set straight what has gone awry in our nation. That's what they are. Of course, the mainstream media is going to sow division because they don't want us to come together. They don't want us to understand that we're all in this together. They want us to think that we have to fight each other to get what we want, but we really don't. What we need to do is to come together. Once we come together, game over. Once the people come together and realize that this is already our government,